Okay, year 9, this is the first distance learning lesson that we've got. I did talk to you and set the ground rules a little bit last week, but just a reminder that all work needs to be written into your exercise books. We need to keep the same protocols that we usually do, so I would like each lesson for you to write in the date, the title of the lesson and the learning objectives. And remember that all work needs to be attempted. I will ask for proof that work is being attempted, so that may well be, as it will be today, photographs of the work which are emailed to me at my school email address, which is at the end, a.hardman@cromptonhouse.org. I'm trying to make this as interesting and as informative and so on as possible, so you might have to bear with us a little bit at times, but this is going to be about me giving you a skeleton to an extent of the work and you putting the effort in, and of course the work needs to be written in so that you're actually processing the information and it's not simply a cut and paste exercise. Okay, first activity then, what I would like you to do is to go to this web address on YouTube and watch the video. Watch the video up to 4 minutes and 54 seconds, and what I want you to do whilst you're doing that is to be noting down reasons and evidence why our study area of East Manchester needed regeneration. They're going to talk a lot about about Ancoats and New Islington. We're looking at that area, but it's right on the cusp of our area. We're going a little bit further north into East Manchester, and I talked to you about the study area last week. So when you're finished, I want you to spend an additional 5 minutes or so researching the causes of deindustrialisation in East Manchester and add those to your notes above. We're going to be thinking there about the decline of the cotton industry from the 1960s onwards, and also the closure of the Bradford Colliery, the coal mine, which was sited, the pit head was sited where Sports City is today. Okay, now that you have done that, what I've also sent to you is a PDF of East Manchester photos. It looks not just somewhat, but exactly like this. And obviously, if you can manage to print this off, if you've got a printer at home, you can annotate the photographs, as it says there in the instructions at the top, trying to explain why the area was in need of regeneration. One of the things that I did mention to you, because I talked to you about this activity last week, is not to be using descriptive terms like it's dirty or it's scruffy, because that in itself isn't a reason why it was in need of regeneration. Remember, dirty, scruffy, etc. are subjective terms. They're terms that come from opinion. So I would be looking for you to be using terms like derelict or vacant. In this case, we've got boarded up. This is probably an old industrial site, as is this, so be thinking about why the industry is no longer there. One of the things to consider here are all of the shutters. So why have we got that facade, the shop fronts in that area? We've got an old industrial thing that I talked to some of you about last week as well, this sign of old industry. But again, you're talking about why the area is in need of regeneration and not describing and being subjective about the places themselves. After that, your next task is going to be more of a research-based task. I need you to find definitions to the following terms: brownfield site, brownfield potential, regeneration, redevelopment and renewal. All of these terms are really pertinent to East Manchester because the area, the study site that we're looking at, all of these terms are used to describe what has happened within East Manchester from the 1990s through to the present day. And then down at the bottom there, produce a table showing the advantages and the disadvantages of developing brownfield sites. That is something, it's a key thing that's done across lots and has been done across lots and lots of GCSE specifications. So it shouldn't be too difficult to find something like that. Maybe if you add GCSE geography to your search, then that might make it a little bit easier. We're probably looking at 4 or 5 advantages and 4 or 5 disadvantages, and obviously, you know me, the more developed they are, the better they will be. So I'll be thinking not just about naming the advantages and disadvantages, but developing that, telling me why they are advantages and disadvantages. When that's complete, and this will just round off the lesson, I want you to write 3 sentences, or complete 3 sentences. The first one being, one thing I've learned today is. The next one being, one thing I have a question about is. The third one being, one thing I will research by next lesson is. The thing that you've got a question about, feel free to email me the question with the photographs of your work to a.hardman@cromptonhouse.org. Remember also that you need to photograph your work and send that to me. Oh yeah, that's it. Remember please to send that from your school email address, please. And also another thing to be thinking about, you will, I'm sure, be experiencing lots and lots of free time, spare time, bored time. Certainly my son already is bored a lot of the time. Don't forget, you've got Google Maps and Google Street View. You could become the best travelled Year 9s who are under lockdown in the world by going to these places and having a good look round. Remember, it's not a million years ago since we were looking at Rio, so if you haven't done already, go around Rashinya, go around Barra, just get yourselves in there, get on the Street View. If you were looking at the area around Sport City, have a look round Sport City now from the comfort of your own home. And I will set you some more work, which will be with you for our double lesson on Friday. Stay safe, everyone.